Robyn, can you just describe the moment up there and
Yeah.
being able to see your name across the screen and just the moment there with you were able to share with your team and the realization of being in the field and all your hard work resulted in that?
Great moment, and we didn't have to wait very long for it. So the selection show a lot of anticipation can come with it. A lot of it's one of the few things in life that's really a surprise. There's very few things that you really, until it's announced, you'll know who you're playing and where you're playing, and just really happy for our team. I know coming into the season, this was a target they've talked about from the beginning, and it's hard to make this tournament. You have to have a really good season to do it, and it was a great moment that we got to share that. Excuse me.
You guys have had some time off with obviously the Big Ten tournament up until
Yep.
now. So what has the last week been like as you guys now get ready for North Carolina?
Well, it was a good mix of getting a little break. It's a long season, so to be able to get an important break. And then it's also been really good that we've just focused on us. For this amount of time, you have no idea who you're playing, which in a lot of ways is a good thing because you get to get back to just all about Michigan State. And we've also been able to crank it up and get after it and compete. And, it's a bit of a 2-week break is a little bit unusual. We don't have that sort of time at any point in season. So I think we've tried to balance between resting and then making sure we're also competing.
What do you know about your opponents? Do you know anything? Sorry.
Not much. The ACC isn't a league I see much either because they're not, they're just not, it's not a league I've seen a lot. But interestingly, their head coach and I are good friends. So she texted me right after, which will be, it'll be fun to see her. She's done a good job there.
Where does that friendship stem from?
She was the head coach at Princeton when I was at Ashland and at Bowling Green, and just through the WBCA and different connections, we became pretty good pals. When she took over and North Carolina was around the similar time where I was new head coach at Bowling Green. So we actually used to once a month talk about just sort of bouncing ideas off each other of being in new spaces and how to, just in a lot of ways, professional development.
When did you and this group realize that reaching the NCAA tournament was a realistic goal for you, especially in year one?
I think anytime you get to 20 wins, it begins to feel like a true reality. I think finishing 12-6 in the Big Ten and getting a double bye, I think those sorts of times was when we felt confident about it. But as we know, you never know until you know, and you never know what that will look like until Selection Sunday. So it's and with tournaments and bids and upsets, it's always sort of a moving target.
Hasn't been an automatic that the women have made the tournament every
Yeah.
year. Can you just talk about the excitement in year number one of getting to the tournament, getting in, and starting a second season again?
It's so hard. I think I read somewhere that it's 18% of teams. Right, so you think of all of Division I women's basketball teams, 18% of teams make this tournament. That means you have to have a body of work. You have to be able to string. It's not about being good once in a while. You have to put consistency together. You have to put a body of work together. And I think that's what I'm most proud of with this group is that they have shown. It's not like we've just had a good night. They have shown over the course of a season the ability to put a memorable season together. And when you come in as a new coach, and that's something that people talk about as being important and something they want, you feel really compelled by that. And so I know our staff, that's something from day one with this group we've felt really compelled by.
Just it being your first year, of course, coaching and making it to the tournament with the Spartans, was that at all important to you? Like, did you have confidence today leading up to the selection show?
Well, I think in coaching it's always important, right? I mean, you think of, basketball is so interesting because we play so many games. It's a 30-game season. We have a long season over a lot of the year, and yet March really matters, right? And yet March is still kind of, as you grow up as a kid, it's it's the best time of the year if you love basketball, if you love college basketball. So to get an opportunity to continue to play basketball that matters on a national stage against the best teams remaining in the country, I mean, it's that's something that we are really excited about.
Robyn, you mentioned the 20-win thing, but was there a point at all during the season when I guess you maybe had saw the progress that this group was making that you felt that this had the makings of a tournament team?
Well, I just kind of felt like we were always getting. I felt like we were always getting better, and through non-conference I saw that, and then as you get into conference, you get a real barometer of that. And I think when we beat Maryland at home, I was like, okay, this feels significant. And then we went on the road, and took Iowa literally to the last shot. And then we kept building on that. So I don't know if there was a particular moment. I do know I felt like we were getting better in practice. And I know this sounds a little silly, but a framework too, we go against the scout guys all the time. So when you start to get to a point in practice where you expect that you should beat the scout guys, not that we do all the time, your brain begins to change too. Like, okay, if we're able to do this, what does this mean in the Big Ten? But there's little markers along the way that I felt like we were making really good progress to be very competitive.
My question would be, what kind of drive do you think this gives, like some of the seniors, especially like Mo Joyner? I know we cover her a lot down in the Saginaw area.
I mean, it's what they work so hard for. I mean, I think you come to Michigan State wanting a chance to play against the best teams and the brightest lights on the biggest stage. And she's been a huge part of our season. She's a huge reason that we're getting this chance.
Anything else for Coach Fralick?
Just you came up so quickly, we almost missed it. After Tom's wait, were you kind of
Yeah.
get out of the way that early?
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, it was good to know right away. I think it made watching the rest of the show less probably interesting and entertaining. But yeah, I think at any point in time that your name is called, that is a good time.
You look forward to digging into somebody else?
Yeah, as we all know, as we grind through conference play, you all know each other so very well. So I think one of the really fun things of the tournament is it's, for everybody, it's a brand new opponent, right? It's a whole, that's typically a little bit of a cleaner game.
Okay, thank you. We've got you at your all in the back.
All right, thanks.